Let's bring in U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Happy 4th of July, Matt. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate you joining us here. The president says he wants to rebuild America's military. So let's take a look at the areas that this $150 billion in the big, beautiful bill, where it's going. It's going to increase the fleet of Navy warships. It will go toward building his Golden Dome defense project and also refilling America's precision weapons arsenal, which has been depleted after helping out Ukraine. So in your view, is this a wise allocation of these resources from this bill?
Yes, it is. And happy Independence Day to you as well. What we're seeing both in the war in Ukraine and the 12-day war between Israel and Iran is that air defense and missile defense is crucial. In fact, it's decisive. That's the reason Iran lost the 12-day war, and it's why Ukraine for 3 years now has been fighting with the Russians. It's because of air defense. And so the Golden Dome is the most important strategic asset that can be developed for the United States in the protection of the homeland. And at the same time, we are in a strategic competition with China, and China is continuing in peacetime to build a big military, and we need to respond to that, and we also need to address all of the global threats. So shipbuilding is going to be crucial, and then missiles are really, as we see happening everywhere, is going to be the weapon of choice in a lot of conflict. But I think the allies that we have in NATO and across the globe saw very clearly when the B-2s dropped the bunker buster bombs on Iran and ended their nuclear program, what U.S. capabilities mean. And so this big, beautiful bill obviously is leaning into that and making sure the U.S. is always at the forefront of defending the homeland and projecting power.
So former President Joe Biden has been making some headlines of late back in the public eye. He spoke at a convention in San Diego, claiming that he is getting calls from a number of European leaders asking him to get engaged. He says, I'm not because things are different. But, what do you make of this? And do you think that this will undermine what President Trump is trying to do with European leaders?
I've spent the last 3 months in Europe working at NATO and working with our allies and working with European leaders. And I would have to tell you, in the room last week at the NATO summit, all eyes were on Donald Trump. He commanded the room. He led that summit. Everyone wanted to talk to him, wanted to speak about their unique interests. I can't imagine Joe Biden is relevant because Joe Biden couldn't have delivered 5% of GDP on defense in the agreement we got last week. Only Donald Trump can do that. And so, I would be surprised if that maybe isn't a little bluster on Joe Biden's point. But, the bottom line is that, Donald Trump is the leader of the free world, and our allies in Europe and globally are looking to him to lead and to set the tone.
It's the 4th of July. How does patriotism impact your job as the ambassador to NATO? And how does patriotism figure into the role that you're trying to fulfill?
Yeah, well, I see every day through the people I work with, 2/3 of my staff are military, both uniformed and civilian. And, they are patriots. Many of them have served in very difficult places on behalf of the United States and been willing to sacrifice for their country if asked. And I interact with veterans all the time, and so many of them answered the call, and they're the biggest patriots. And I deal with a lot of people that are first-generation immigrants that are in our military or served in our military, and they understand that what is unique about the United States of America and the promise. And so, July 4th, Independence Day, is always special for me because 249 years ago, some patriots decided that they would set a new course, and it changed world history. The world is freer and safer because of what those patriots did 249 years ago. And in Iowa last night with the president, kicking off the 250th celebration that happens next year on this day is just going to be epic, with America's Great State Fair, with the UFC fight at the White House. I mean, there's just so many things that have been announced that are very exciting. But, patriotism and a love of country, I think, is not unique to the United States of America, but it is uniquely felt in every single citizen.
Well, I would agree with you there. Matt Whitaker, our ambassador to NATO, thank you so much for joining us here today, and happy 4th of July.
Yeah, likewise. Great to see you. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.